Hey everybody, I'm Stacy Lyn, and today I'm going to be rooting some of my favorite roses. These right here came from my grandmother's house, and I'm not a rose aficionado, but I know how to root these. And they are not the prettiest things in the world, but they do add color around my house, and they mean something to me. So I'm going to root these, and I'm going to be planting them in other locations. I'm also going to be planting some hydrangeas, or rooting hydrangeas, and rooting climbing roses, which we kind of did that this morning, but I'm going to show you those. So the best time of the day to do it is in the morning when they're kind of moist, and you're going to get the new growth off of one of your branches. So this is a great time for us here in the South to be doing this. You can tell the new growth if you come up just a little bit closer. You can tell the new growth by the fact that this is kind of woody looking and really green, but you can see that this is a little bit brighter and it's got a newer looking color. So I'm just going to cut this right above the node and right down here and get all of this new growth, and I'm going to get about 7 cuttings off of this one beautiful new growth of this rose. So right now I want you to come and see my wild roses, and they're not really wild. We planted them a while back, but they are beautiful. They are climbing roses, and I'm going to have those climbing throughout a fence that we've got going. So I'm going to root these, and in about probably 18 months I'll start seeing roses produce, but I'll also be able to plant these next year. So they're all the way up there. They are climbing up to the sky, and they climb through this ligustrum, and the ligustrum needs to be cut down probably about by half. It is just about to take over the entire yard. But anyway, it smells so good out here. I don't know, I think it's the ligustrum that's actually doing that. I also have a tea olive. Here are our azaleas, and these don't root quite as well. You can layer them by just pushing down some of it and then just putting a brick on top of it, and it'll root into the ground, and then you separate it with an axe or shovel from the mother plant, and then you can plant that anywhere else you want to plant it. So that's pretty cool. And you can we've got a camellia tree back there, and they don't root that well either, and they take forever to grow, but they are worth growing. So let's go over here to where I'm going to be doing this, and I'll tell you what I've done with that. So I have some potting soil inside inside a couple of these little containers over here, and the potting soil is light and airy, and you don't want to do any kind of rooting in anything that isn't light. So okay, so anyway, because it'll get just drenched down, the dirt is too heavy and it won't hold moisture. So this morning we are experimenting with rooting some of these olive trees, a couple of other things, and we've got a fig behind us, and the fig just grows like crazy. So you can just about do anything to that, and you can grow that. We've got some other roses. We've got some pomegranates that we did. We've got quite a few things. So I went to my neighbor's house this morning, and he let us get a few cuttings from his hydrangea, and so we have that as well. So it's a great thing. Okay, so with my roses, all right, I've got this root stimulating or root hormone, and I'm going to be putting that in, putting part of the plant, the cutting, into that in just a little bit, and then dipping it in here and putting it in the potting soil. So here I've got the new growth of my beautiful rose bush, and so what I'm going to do is I'm just going to cut right here above the node, and that's going to be one of my cuttings. Okay, and then I'm going to go ahead and do the same thing here and here and here, and then when you get up to the top here, you are not going to want, I'm going to go ahead and keep this one since it's not as flimsy. So I'm going to cut this one off, and then I'm going to go ahead and cut this. Okay, so these are the ones that I am going to keep. Okay, so I'm going to poke holes right now down in here. And I don't have to make it very, very big for the roses. I'll have to make it a little bit bigger for the hydrangea leaves. So I'm just gonna do one row. One thing you might wanna do is to keep little labels. I know this morning when we were doing some of our, when we were doing the pomegranates, the olive trees, the different kinds of roses and all of that, we really needed to have been labeling it because we were like, oh, was this from the backyard? Was this from the front yard? So you'll wanna have a little, you know, probably a popsicle stick or something that you can put in there with the name of it. Okay, so now on one side, I'm just gonna take a knife and just scrape off and get right, there we go, and there you go. And just get that where the root stimulator or the root hormone will cover that. So I'm just gonna put it right in here and I'm gonna shake the excess off. And I'm just gonna stick it right down in here in my medium. And there you go. And I'm expecting a lot next year. I am expecting to be able to plant these and then to see some new growth in 18 months. This is going to be wonderful. Doing the same thing here. All right, put that down in there. Okay,